All right, it's Matt. So, why working out is just math? Why math is really the key to a really great physique, a physique that's going to separate you from most people. Math is built into bodybuilding, to working out, to your workouts, to your meals, to your rest, to everything. Math and bodybuilding and working out really do go hand in hand. And I think once you understand that, once you start to implement math and see fitness as math, you can really start to build yourself and be on the path to building yourself a really kind of stand apart physique. So when you think about it, you go into the gym and you do a certain amount of exercises. You do 4 exercises, and each exercise has 10 reps, 8 reps. Maybe you pyramid up in numbers. Maybe you pyramid down in numbers. 8, 10, 12, 14 reps. Maybe you do the inverse. And then you do the next exercise, and that has a certain amount of reps and a certain amount of certain amount of sets and reps. And you're counting constantly. In progressive overload, you're constantly counting. Okay, on week 1, I did 135 pounds. On week 2, I did 140 pounds. On week 3, so on and so forth. Your exercises, your reps, your sets, your workouts are all math. How long you're in the gym is an hour. That's math. 60 minutes, 6 exercises, 10 minutes each. How long you do cardio, 30 minutes of cardio burns a certain amount of calories. 300 calories, that's math. You go home and you eat, and in your meals, your macronutrients, your protein, your carbs, your fats, that's all math. It's all numbers. A certain amount of calories you eat a day, your maintenance calories, your basal metabolic rate is a number. It's 2,000. A deficit of that, to be able to eat in a deficit, you need to do simple math. A deficit is 200 calories less than your basal metabolic rate. A surplus is 200 calories more than your basal metabolic rate. When you've worked out for the day and you've eaten your meals for the day, and then you go to bed and you get 8 hours of sleep, because you know that 8 hours of sleep is going to be, ample time in recovering and having enough energy for the next day to do it all over again. Everything about fitness is just math. You want to get leaner, eat in a deficit, that's math. You want to grow muscle and get bigger, eat in a surplus, that's math. You want to progressively overload, you want to get from 10 to 12 reps, that's math. The weight that you're using to increase is math. Amount of cardio, the amount of calories you burn, the amount of steps you take every day, that's all just math. And I think once again, you understand that, and it's very easy to start out and, overcomplicate it and say, oh, well, I'm getting, all this different advice, and I'm told to do this at that point and that and this point and whatever the case may be. And obviously there's a ton of information out there. I mean, a lot of different people, you can go look up 10 videos on YouTube and get 10 different pieces of advice on how to build muscle, right? And it's easy to take all of that advice and think, oh, well, I don't know what to do. I'm getting all this different advice, and this sounds right and that sounds right. But at the end of the day, seriously, this is just math. And again, I understand it's easy to overcomplicate, but once you understand the foundation and the structure and how simple this stuff really is, and just applying it, that's where you're really going to start to grow. Like a lot of people in the gym, just as an example, when it comes to weights, right? Like progressive overload, is how you get stronger in the gym, obviously along with proper nutrition. But in the gym, you just have to understand, okay, well, if I'm currently at 100 pounds and I can lift 100 pounds and I want to get to 150, the only thing that separates those 50 pounds in strength is just math. Okay, so on week 1, I'm going to do 105 pounds, and then, the week after that, I'm going to shoot for 107 and a half, and then 110, and so on and so forth. You're just applying math, a new number, to that pre-existing number to create stimulus, to create hypertrophy. And then you feed that muscle with nutrients, with macronutrients, and with calories, which is math, to grow. And then you sleep. Every single part, again, I know this video is very repetitive, but everything is just math. And once you figure that out, and once you structure it in a way that literally just adds up and everything is kind of equal or sums up, again, that's when you're going to really see consistent progress in your physique, regardless of what you're trying to do. It's how you get leaner. It's how you get stronger. It's how you get more toned. It's everything. So if you're just starting out in fitness, or maybe you've been doing fitness and you've been struggling, I hope you can watch this video and understand that, fitness and achieving the physique that you want is really just a matter of math. And once you've dialed in all of that math and made it work together, you will build with enough time and with enough consistency, you can build a pretty outstanding physique. So just wanted to highlight how important that is and how fundamental it is to fitness and building a physique, how math is. If you're not currently aware of like the math as it relates to your workout routine or your food or your sleep, try it out for a week. See the difference that it can make. But math is fitness. Fitness is math. Building a physique is just math. But that is what I had for this one, and I'll see you in the next one.